What's up, you guys? Danger Rock here. Today I'm going to be reviewing two 1994 Toybiz superposable Spider-Man action figures. One of these guys I had for a little while now, and one of these guys I just recently picked up. And I'm going to be reviewing both of these guys for you and comparing them to some other superposable Spider-Man figures that I have. This is yet my second review that I worked on today, and what's really cool is I did a review earlier of the superposable Spectacular Spider-Man, and then in the box I came across I had these 90s Toy Biz Spider-Man. So what's really cool about them is that each one is unique. Each one uses a different body style. As you can see, there's the big guy in the back, the 18-inch superposable, which he's just in the background. We're not getting to him today, but we're going to get to him at some point. He does make a nice background for the video, though, because he's a very articulated Spider-Man, which that's exactly the fourth one of those that I have. I actually have more than one of those. I actually recently picked up another one today. But getting into the review, first off, we're going to start out with is this one. Now, this one has I guess what I would call a serious eye expression right here. Just look at the eyes on this one is so much different than that one over there. This one kind of reminds me of that 1994 Spider-Man because of his unique build that he has. For some reason, everybody in that cartoon was extremely large. So this is like a big version of Spider-Man, I would say. And let's see if we could get a year on him. I know this released in 1994, but just to make sure, yeah, right on his left leg, it says 1994 Spider-Man. So this guy has like a darker shade of red, which I like. I like that they didn't just use the same red for the same Spider-Man over and over again. And he's got pretty good articulation. You can rotate his head, which I actually feel a joint in there that moved. It actually just moved his torso. But he has a chest joint a little bit. It doesn't really move that far much, though. It only moves a little bit up and a little bit down. You can fully rotate his waist, and that's interesting. When I moved his head, his waist just turned. So I bet this was one of those like gimmicky toys. But what's interesting about it is that for a toy that had a gimmick to it, he does have lots of articulation. Like, look how far up his shoulders can go. They can bend at the elbows, and they can hinge at the wrists. They don't rotate at the wrists, but look at this hinge right here. It can go far in and far out, so that's actually really, really cool. His legs can kick outward pretty far, actually. You get them doing a split. They go off to the side. They bend at the knees, and they hinge up and down at the feet. They don't rotate at the feet at all. They just hinge up and down. But really nice Spider-Man figure. You can tell just by the spider on the back that this is a 1994 Spider-Man. So that's really awesome. Now, setting him aside, the next one we're going to be taking a look at is actually even better. So this guy pretty much has the exact same articulation as this guy, except he doesn't have that moving chest joint, and his hands don't hinge up and down. His hands are just stuck in like a fisted hand and a grabbing hand. But I'm like, look at the size of his chest. It reminds me of another Spider-Man figure that I'm thinking of. Otherwise, though, this guy is pretty posable. I mean, his shoulders go up pretty far. His legs, he can kick outward as far as that one right there, but it could go pretty far out. Bend at the knees, swivel at the waist, moves at the head. This one, it's a lot harder to move his head, though, I noticed. But this one right here is really unique for a lot of different reasons. Like, just look at the spider on his chest. It's completely different than this one over here, which I actually really like. Which it's really nice to take a look at some history of Spider-Man figures. This one right here also has that darker red color like this one over here. when we turn him over, look at how different the spider on his chest is. That kind of reminds me more of like a Spectacular Spider-Man look, almost. Like, look at that. Yeah, the proportions of the spiders and everything is different. And when I took a closer look at him earlier, I found out that this actually came out in 1998. But when I did some research on him, I wasn't sure what his packaging looked like. I mean, I was able to find the figure loose. If you get this guy loose, he's not too expensive at all. But I'm not sure why this looks that way. Maybe it was from a different like comic book artist that they decided to go for a different look of Spider-Man, which his chest is still pretty wide, but the spider on his front and back is different from all the other 90s Spider-Man figures that I've seen. But oddly enough, these two do stand at about the same exact height. And what I want to do for comparisons is, even though I reviewed these already, and even though these are 6-inch figures, not 4-inch like these guys right here, I'm going to bring in two of my Hasbro Spectacular Spider-Mans so you can really see the difference with these two guys. Now, the first thing that's extremely noticeable is the difference in size, but that's not the only difference. There's also difference in the reds. Of course, they're different head sculpts and everything because these were from different animated cartoons. But I feel like each figure brings a look out to the cartoon actually very, very well. Just like the 18-inch superposable Spider-Man in the back gives definitely a good likeness to the Sam Raimi Spider-Man universe. These go really well together, and I decided to put all these together in a video because my favorite Spider-Man cartoon is obviously Spectacular Spider-Man, but even though I grew up with that one and not the 90s cartoon, I still absolutely love the 90s cartoon, which I guess it's not fair to say which one's better because 90s one had 65 episodes and Spectacular got cut short at 26 episodes. So I like both Spider-Mans for different reasons. Both of them are my top two favorite incarnations of the wall crawler. So just having these figures right here mean a lot to me because these are like specific representations of him. And to some people out there, they might come across a Spider-Man figure somewhere and go, oh, it's just red and blue. Another one of those. But no, these I feel like represent like the best versions of Spider-Mans out there. So I'm very happy to have all these guys. And just to look at the different details on each one is that I kind of like how sometimes they can be similar but different. But when I look at those 90 figures right there, I mean, those just kind of give me like a vintage feeling. Like that vintage Toybiz sculpt to them that they have, which can't be topped by anything else. But that's just me. I absolutely love all these guys to death. I want to keep these guys in my collection forever. And I'm not really sure what else more to say about these two guys back there, except for they're definitely worth it for any Spider-Man collection. Obviously, this one right here is a bit more unique and accurate in terms of sculpt and body proportions, but the other one is completely unique as well. So what I appreciate about all these guys is that sometimes when you see the web lines on Spider-Man, especially certain figures of him, sometimes they don't even paint the web lines on there at all. And sometimes they sculpt them and they paint black over it where it just kind of looks like a big mess. But on these guys, it doesn't. I feel like these actually look like pretty good representations of these guys. Especially since the dark black paint mixed with like this, I'm going to call it this like brownish red. Not like these guys right here that are a completely bright red. These two guys right here are a red that I haven't really ever seen much on a Spider-Man figure. I know some of the Spider-Man classics, Toybiz Spider-Mans use this darker color red for their 6-inch figures. But on some of the Hasbro figures, I don't think that's ever been used. So that's why I think it's really unique. And especially the look at the different spider symbols on them. I think that all looks really, really cool. So it's really hard to decide which one's better. I mean, obviously I'm going to go with this guy right here, but that's just my opinion for different reasons. And yeah, I think it was really nice to take a look at all these guys today. They look all cool next to each other, and they're going to look great on display. Sadly, since I've been moving, all these figures were put in a box until I start getting shelves and my glass cabinets together. But wherever I go, they go. So it's really nice to have all these. So yeah, this has been my review of two Toybiz 1994 and 1998 Spider-Man action figures. If you like this video, please leave a like. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of these figures and which one is your favorite? I really look forward from hearing from you guys. Thank you all for watching as always, and I'll see you guys on the next video review.